James, I just want to do something for my son. But every path is blocked. Every dream comes with hatred. What would happen if a stranger, someone who could change your life, walked into your world? For James Carter, this moment was the turning point that would change everything. But that stranger, with a responsibility to fulfill, had her own secret to reveal. And when that secret came out, James learned that sometimes, in this world, doing what's right requires making the hardest decisions. And this was just the beginning. Find out what happens when a responsible man faces the greatest challenge of his life. Could this truly be a new beginning, or a journey lost forever? The snow fell like ash over Chicago, cloaking the city in a muted gray shroud. At a deserted bus stop on the edge of Englewood, James Carter stood alone, a worn silhouette against the storm. His hands, rough from years of hauling crates and scrubbing floors, clutched a stack of crumpled job applications, each one a fragile lifeline, each one a dead end. At 38, he was a single dad, a former warehouse worker now teetering on the brink, his brown eyes hollowed by sleepless nights. The wind clawed through his thin hoodie, but he stood rigid, lost in the weight of keeping his 9-year-old son, Ethan, afloat. He didn't see her approach, the woman who slipped through the blizzard like a ghost. She stopped a few feet away, shivering in a threadbare jacket, her blonde hair lashing her face like wet straw. Her arms were locked tight across her chest, her breath puffing out in sharp, shallow bursts. James's gaze flicked to her, then lingered. Without a word, he shrugged off his hoodie, faded, patched at the elbows, the last scrap of warmth he owned, and stepped into the biting cold. "Take it," he said, his voice gritty from exhaustion. "You're gonna freeze out here." She paused, her blue eyes cutting through the snow. They held a glint, wariness, maybe a spark of something softer, before she reached out, wrapping the hoodie around herself. Her fingers brushed a crumpled drawing in the pocket, Ethan's scrawl of a stick-figure dad and son under a lopsided sun, labeled "Me plus Dad." She glanced at him, but he'd already turned back to the street lamp's faint halo, shoulders hunched against the gale. "I'm Emily," she said, her voice piercing the wind's howl. "James." He didn't look at her. She fished a sleek black card from her bag and pressed it into his hand. "If you ever need anything." He gave a curt nod, stuffing it into his jeans. A fleeting kindness, he figured, nothing more. She faded into the white, leaving him alone again, the cold sinking into his marrow. He didn't know the woman he'd just met was Emily Harper, CEO of Horizon Tech, a titan steering Chicago